Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Senior Cat Wellness. Thank you so much for taking just a few minutes out of your day to join me. Owning a cat, it can be one of the most rewarding experiences, but for many new cat owners, it's very easy to make some mistakes, often without even realizing it. And in this video, we'll go over 10 of the most common things that new cat owners can get wrong, and most importantly, how to fix them. We'll start things off with the litter box. One of the very first mistakes that new owners often make is assuming that just any litter box will do. Felines are very particular about where and how they use the restroom. A litter box that's too small or placed in a very high traffic area or not cleaned on the regular, it can lead to a lot of stress and anxiety and potentially some choices to use the bathroom outside of that litter box. So how do you resolve that issue? Well, use a litter box that it's at least about a time or a time and a half the length of your cat's physical body. And place it in a very quiet, low traffic area in the home and scoop it out. I sometimes vary on this, but let's just say 4 or 5 times a week, right? Let's scoop it out, and once a day if you can do it. Now, if you can swing it, then do it, but certainly several times per week, and obviously replace the used litter with fresh new litter. Multi-cats in your home, the same thing for the multiple litter boxes. Low traffic area, about 1.5 times the length of your cat physically, and clean it out on that regular basis. Next up, it's all about the food. In this case, the wrong type or the wrong amount of food. Many new cat owners either overfeed their cats, sort of that buffet style where the bowl is always there and cats just come and go as they please to get their meals, or they choose very low quality food. Some assume that dry food all the time is the way to go and more than enough, while others, well, they might feed too many treats. These habits can unfortunately lead to obesity and potentially other health issues or a nutrition deficiency. How to fix this? Well, consult your vet if you're really not sure what you need to be feeding your cat or how much you need to be feeding your cat. They'll get down to the bottom of things and determine the best diet for your cat in terms of their age and weight and their general status of health. A nice mix of maybe wet and dry. I would say mostly wet, but that's just me. But wet and dry food typically can provide a very balanced nutrition for your pet. And always say measure that food proportion rather than that buffet style feeding that I mentioned earlier. Make mealtime special. Don't make it an around the clock situation where your cat can eat as they please and when they please. Next up, let's talk about the vet. It's very common for new owners to only take their cat to the vet when something is very wrong or seems wrong. However, just like people, preventative care, those regular routine checkups, that's very critical to your cat. If for no other reason than to just make sure they're okay and to rule things out and to maybe get an advance head start, if you will, on something that could be serious. Early diagnosis means the sooner the treatment, the sooner your cat can recover from whatever the diagnosis might be at any given time. Well, the way to resolve this is to, of course, schedule those routine exams and physical wellness checkups, even if your cat does seem healthy. Regular checkups can detect, as I mentioned, early issues, and of course keep those vaccinations up to date. Kittens and senior cats, they quite often need more frequent care than at other stages of life, so just keep that in mind, especially if you're a new owner of a kitten or you're an owner of a senior cat. Next up, let's talk about spaying and neutering. Delaying in spaying or neutering can lead to a series of behavioral issues and increased risk of certain types of cancer, unfortunately. And also, I guess the most obvious, it can contribute to, especially if you have a neighborhood setting and your cat likes to roam around, we'll just call it a whole bunch of cats. A whole bunch of cats can pop up, and that can be a rough thing, especially if we are talking about a neighborhood, because you might not be in a position to care for all of these newborns. So you've got a lot of cats wandering around, and that can be very much negative in terms of the care that they need and the love they need. So keep that in mind when it comes to spaying and neutering. It's don't delay it. The fix on this, and it is sort of rather a quick fix. Take your vet's advice, but generally cats can be spayed early as 5 to 6, maybe 7 months of age. So the sooner the better. Early sterilization of this nature helps to prevent these potentially unwanted kittens that I mentioned, and also aggressive behaviors in the cat, and those unwanted litters. Number 5, let's talk about behavioral issues, sort of piggybacking on spaying and neutering. If a cat scratches your sofa and your furniture and is constantly just out of control and showing aggression, many cat owners can often chalk it up to just your cat being a bad one, just a bad apple. That's really not true, right? In reality, these are often signs of environmental issues. Something's not right. Either something that you're not doing right or something they don't enjoy. Something in the environment in terms of maybe where that litter box is placed. Going back to the first one, maybe the litter box in a spot they don't like. It could be a myriad of concerns. It even could be an underlying health concern. How to fix this one? Well, observe your cat's behavior and environment. Know their baseline. If you know their baseline on the best of days, you can really be keen to when things just aren't right and your cat's acting out. So provide enrichment, mental and physical enrichment, scratching post, maybe food mazes, interactive toys, areas to climb that are safe for them, but also safe for your belongings and your furniture. And if, of course, if problems persist, even if you're acting in good faith and doing all you can, if these problems do persist, then consult your vet or perhaps a feline behaviorist about the situation. Next up, it's a sort of that old wives' tale, right? That cats walk to the beat of their own drum and they really don't need socialization. Well, that is in fact not the case. It's a bit of a myth that cats just sort of by default are aloof, and that's not true. Certainly some are more independent than others, but overall, cats do need our love and they do need our care and attention. So set aside daily time for your cat, even if it's just a little cuddle session or, maybe 15 minutes of nothing but just pats on the head. They need to know that you're there. They need to know that you care. So whether we're talking playtime or petting or simply just being in the same room, many cats, they do love to form strong bonds with their owners. And in the big picture, it's all about that loyalty and trust. And the more you're around, the more that can grow and thrive. And down the road, you probably won't have as many behavior problems, but simply because your cat knows you, your cat loves you, and most importantly, your cat trusts you. Now let's talk about toxic products under your roof. Hey, chemicals. I could spend another 10 minutes just talking about all kinds of chemicals in the kitchen, in the laundry room, in the garage, in the restroom. So be mindful of toxins, things that could prove toxic to your cat. So keep all supplies of this nature under lock, right? Under wraps where your cat cannot even get to them. This can include plants in the home that could be poisonous. So safety first. Make a cat-friendly environment, which would include keeping dangerous products away and out of reach. And if you can, just behind closed doors, away from your cats. Next up, let's talk about the space your cat needs. Cats, naturally, they love to climb and they like to observe their environment from a higher position, like that bookcase. But without the ability to climb, cats can become very stressed and anxious. So here's the fix for that. Cat trees, window perches, maybe some shelves that are just meant for their pleasure. So you don't want them climbing on your bookcase, of course, but cats do need that elevated lifestyle. It's just who they are and what they are. So provide safer areas that are meant for them that they can get up on a perch and look down and do what cats do without getting injured, getting harmed, and of course without damaging your belongings and your property. Next up, let's talk about behavior, but let's talk about your cat's paws and claws. Some new owners could consider declawing a cat to stop them from scratching that furniture, but this procedure is very painful and it can often lead to a series of problems. So how to fix this? Instead of declawing, let's go with trimming. I'll repeat that. Instead of declawing, let's just trim the claws. If they're getting sort of out of hand, trim the claws regularly and provide scratching posts for your pet. It's all about redirecting this scratching from your sofa to scratching posts rather than just eliminating the claws altogether. That should never happen, right? We're talking about trimming and positive redirection. We are not advocating declawing under any circumstances. And finally, I think this is number 10 on our list. It's important to understand, and I think we all make this mistake from time to time, especially when we're first starting out as cat owners. Many of us within the sound of my voice, know dogs. We potentially had dogs long before we started taking care of felines. It's important to understand that cats are not dogs. I mean, on its face, we understand this, but I think we can all fall into the trap or make the mistake of treating a cat like a puppy. They have entirely different social structures, how they respond to positive training, how they communicate, how they respond to our communication style. So expecting a cat to just, you snap your fingers and call their name and they come over to you like a dog would, not suggesting that cats don't, but that's not really their jam. That's not how they relate to us. So we don't need to talk to them like dogs when they're not going to respond to us most of the time the way a dog does. So how can we fix this? Understanding, learning how to read feline body language and how a cat communicates, how to respect their needs, their independent needs, their needs for, when they want to cuddle, let them initiate the affection rather than you initiating it. So it's all about understanding what you're dealing with and who you're dealing with. And as much as there can be as lovable as a dog, they are not dogs. So don't communicate with your cat like a dog, and don't expect them to act around you and communicate in return in the way that most canines would. So overall, bringing a cat into your environment, into your home, into your life for any amount of time, it's a major commitment and responsibility. And like any relationship, it takes a lot of time, maybe some tough love and some hand wringing at first, but it's all about learning and being patient and understanding your pet. Avoiding common mistakes and applying the right strategies, you can in a quicker amount of time, build that strong bond of loyalty and trust with your cat. And ultimately, that's the name of the game. To the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness, what are your thoughts concerning these important don'ts and the things many new cat owners do get wrong? Your commentary, of course, that comment section, it's all yours. If you enjoyed this content and found it informative, please give the video a like, share it out, and subscribe to us right here at Senior Cat Wellness. And until next time, we will talk to you later.